それではお時間になりましたので再開をさせていただきたいと思います。ただいまから15時まで User Experience is Everything The Story of Appear.in と題しまして Appear.in ソフトウェアエンジニアダグ様にご登壇いただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
ありがとうございます。Alright, hello everyone, and thank you for coming. This is actually the largest audience I've ever spoken in Canada. It's great to be able to come to Japan and do this kind of stuff. So today I'm actually not going to be talking very much about WebRTC or about technology at all. Instead I'm going to talk about how we build a product from a little tech demo into a fully featured global product that we have today, and some of the things that we learned along the way. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Dag-Inge. It's a bit hard to pronounce for non-native speakers of the region. And I'm a software engineer at Appear.in. Right now, I'm the technical lead for the Appear.in Premium product, which is a new business offering we're going to launch. And I've been with the project since the very beginning. So I know a lot about sort of how it went from the start and all the technical stuff we did and all that kind of stuff up until the product that we have today. So first I have to ask a question. How many of you have tried or heard about Appear.in before? Okay, it's actually more than I expected. Great. So we are a video chat based on WebRTC. And we were actually one of the very first to launch a commercial product back in 2013 when WebRTC just came out. And we've kept going ever since. So our team, this is our team. We are 14 people, 8 engineers, 1 designer, 2 product managers, 1 user researcher, 1 marketer, 1 CEO. And basically, even though we have roles like that, everyone does everything. So I've been a part of marketing and product design all the way to sort of hardcore WebRTC and other stuff. You do what you kind of want to. And product works a bit like this. So we've taken basically the canonical or the simplest WebRTC application you can make and we turn that into a real product. So for example, now go to appear.in/anything. It can be your name or the name of your company. And you can send that link to someone that you want to talk to, up to 8 people. And once they click the link, within seconds, they will be connected with high-quality audio and video without having to register or log in, without having to download anything. It's really just video chats that made it as simple as it can be. So the question is then, how do we end up where we are today? And there's a lot of great things. It all started with the interns. So back in 2013, we were let's call it an R&D department of Telenor, a huge telecom operator in Norway. Sort of like NTT.com or SoftBank here in Japan. And every summer we hire a bunch of interns. They come from the local university, and they get to work on stuff that we don't have the time to actually work with. So they prototype a lot of stuff for us. So we had 3 students, and they were told to build video chats based on WebRTC. And we had this idea back then that we wanted it to be super simple. Everyone that was on the same link should automatically connect with each other. We didn't have any idea what WebRTC was, other than it was audio and video in the browser. And this idea came sort of from, I guess as most others, we had trouble connecting to our remote workers during stand-up, trouble connecting to meetings or outside parties, that kind of stuff. And we wanted to build something that was simpler. It was kind of an ambitious project for 3 students. So the students were given 6 weeks to get as far as they could. And they were given full freedom to do anything they wanted. So technology choices, except for WebRTC, of course, were up to them. The design was up to them. How it would look and feel was up to them. So they started out, and after 2 weeks, they told us we have something. So we took them so we have 2-week demos. So every end of sprint, we have a demo for the whole company. So in there are 50 engineers, maybe 20 workers, and a lot of people looking at these demos. These 3 interns were sort of sitting there shaking, right? looking forward to demoing the product and seeing if we were happy or not. And needless to say, what they demoed was mind-blowing. In just 2 weeks, these students had created exactly what we wanted. Good video chat that just worked. And this was live at the time, so we actually had a URL. So people remotely started joining in just to see it, typed in the URL to see if they could break the demo or something like that. And it just still worked. So a lot of people came into the conversation, and it was really, really cool at the time. Because we sort of have to imagine back then how the state of video conferencing was. I mean, WebRTC wasn't a thing, so at least not yet. So this was just really, really cool that we were able to do this in such a short amount of time. And as you can see, over back when I first familiar with the product, a lot of the stuff that they built in that 2-week demo, this is the first demo that they showed us, it's actually stuck around in the service right until now. So that's kind of cool. So we were full of excitement, so we sort of, okay, you get a designer now, and you're going to spend the rest of the 4 weeks you have to turn this into a real product. And then we're going to try and just launch it. So after 6 weeks, we did. We launched it. And we were actually quite sort of lucky with that, because in Norway, for 4 weeks' time, all the executives, almost everyone in Norway goes on vacation at the same time. So we had basically just the interns and then some of the younger guys there and make decisions. And we just decided, what could go wrong? So we just threw it out there and launched it. And it worked. It was genius. And the response we got was overwhelming. I mean, people loved us. We struggled. We hadn't even thought we'd get so many people to try it. So we went down several times, and it was a rocky start. But regardless, people really, really took heart with this idea. Video chat. And actually got picked up by some tech news. So this is the largest Norwegian tech news outlet, sort of, and they picked this up. So they called our CEO, who was on vacation at the time. So I see you've launched new products. Do you have any comments? It was like, yeah, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. And then he called us like, have you launched something? Okay. So that's kind of cool. The headline here, by the way, says, look what the students built for Telenor. Telenor is sort of one of the really big home brands in Norway. It was really cool that they were able to do that. So that brings us sort of to the first lesson that we had. Launch early. Because if you aren't a little bit afraid or ashamed when you launch a product, you probably launch too late. There were a bunch of stuff that we wanted to fix, but it was so important for us to get it out there, get it in the hands of users as soon as possible. So we can start getting feedback. So we can start getting motivated by people actually using the product and actually tweaking it so that it can become even more valuable. And if we hadn't done that, we might have never been where we are today. We might have missed our window of being the first mover in a new technology. So the initial launch gave us reasons to continue. And we were lucky, actually extremely lucky, to have resources right from the start. Because at the same time, another project was shut down inside Telenor, a huge project. We could basically pick from a lot of engineers, a lot of designers, and set up a team of 6 overnight almost. And that's quite unusual. You usually have to hire people and get them in, and it takes a while. So the first 3 months were, you could say, a bit rocky. We tried to figure out who we are, we listened to user feedback, we talked to a lot of people. I think we redesigned at that point 3 times to sort of try and figure out who we were, where we fit in this space. Until we finally thought we had it, because we were the world's biggest WebRTC-based video conferencing service. That was huge for us. I'm saying that with a bit of a sarcastic tone, I guess, because as you'll see, the WebRTC part of this doesn't actually matter all that much. But admittedly, we did get a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of initial buzz came from us being WebRTC based, being a new technology, and that was cool. So we had sent out this tweet when Opera got, and Opera is an internet browser, also based in Norway. When they got WebRTC support, we called them out on Twitter and said, hey, we're working this. And so we did some co-branding with them, and they sort of helped us and gave us a lot of initial response. This tweet is actually kind of cool because for the first 6 months, every huge bump we had in users came as a direct result of us sending out that one single tweet. All the other sort of following effects of that, the butterfly effects, actually came from that tweet. Yeah, we also had a lot of user feedback. Sort of, this is so great, we're going to be a serious competitor to Microsoft and Skype, we should get our eyes open for this. But the hard truth was that the average user couldn't care less that we were based on WebRTC. WebRTC simply wasn't important to them. And it wasn't because of WebRTC that people loved us, at least not directly. Because when it all comes down to it, all of these work. I mean, Skype, FaceTime, Hangouts, and Messenger, they all work. So why should we change? What could we build that was better? So we tried to figure this out. What was the reason people preferred us over those other big services? Was it because of WebRTC, or was it perhaps something else? And we could have said, sort of, well, we support detail SSRTP end-to-end encryption with clients and encryption keys. And I'm sorry, translators, for that. But the average user doesn't know half of these words. And I'm betting you know that some people in the audience here doesn't know half of these words either. So that's not a major selling point for a service. You can't sell your service based on those kind of things, because average users wouldn't know what they are. So we turned on and saw, what did people actually say? So without us sort of prompting them for anything, or having this tagline anywhere in the beginning, people said, no login, no installs, free for updating. And that was the reason why people loved us. And it all came down to this simple fact: just share the link. So our simplicity was going to separate us from the pack, separate us from Messenger and Hangouts and Skype. Just share the link. And it was so easy that everyone could do it. And when it is that easy, people will really do the marketing for you. Because they get excited that something is so good that they will actually go out and get their friends to use it. So in the first year of Appear.in, we didn't use a single dollar on marketing at all. We only did manage a Twitter account and a Facebook account and sort of answer people, that kind of stuff. We didn't spend any on advertising, that kind of stuff. It all happened organically. Which brings us to the second lesson. User doesn't care about technology. You can't sell your application on technology choice. And corollary to that, your technology choice will not get you users. I mean, it doesn't matter how cool your stack is, or that your microservice architecture can be designed by a higher being, or that something is really, really cool technically. It will not, at the end of the day, get you users. It's of end users. And we took this to heart. So it might actually shock a lot of you that for the first 2 years of running the service, we ran on a single thread, on a single process, on one machine based in Ireland for the entirety of the world for 2 years. That's kind of special when you think about it. It's not about scalability in the beginning. You can focus on other things. We didn't worry about that kind of stuff. So we figured out that WebRTC was not going to make us big, at least anytime soon. So we had this problem. People loved us, but they weren't coming back. After all, Skype and Hangouts, they just worked. So why should they change? We got a lot of feedback to us in the sort of this tone of voice. We asked them, why didn't you come back? What makes that service? No, it just works. And they ended always with, but I really think the product is the future. That doesn't help us. It doesn't help us that we are the future, but we don't want to use our product now. That's more important. So we need to find ways to make our product more sticky, to make users want to come back time and time again. But how should we do that? So the first thing you should go out and do then is you have to get ideas and you have to talk to real users. You have to try those ideas out, and this is very, very important. Now what we did then is we needed to find a low-cost solution to do this. Because our users were spread across the globe, but we needed to reach people face-to-face to actually ask these questions. So what we did was we had a sign. This sign says, "We will buy you coffee if you spend 15 minutes testing our new products." And we sat those out at cafes all over Oslo, where we're based in. People love free coffee, so they came over and sort of, yeah, I can have a coffee and sit down and test your product. And that gave us a lot of really good initial feedback. So that brings us to lesson number 3. Talk to your users. Don't sit in isolation and think you have all the answers. You need to actually get out there and talk to people and understand what their problems is. Because it's only your users that know what they want, what their problems are, and how your product fits to solve their needs. Take a concrete example. I don't know how many of you remember Google Wave. The Google Wave was a great product. It was one of the most technologically cool things I've ever seen. It was way ahead of its time. But it didn't solve any user needs. People used it for like one time. They had no idea what to use it for. And yeah, it failed because of that. After a while, the giving got more fancy. So this is actually one of the cool things about being part of a bigger company is that you have access to resources like a design lab. You have access to resources like sending out surveys to 10,000s of users and that kind of stuff. So we did that. We took people in, we actually sat them down, had a workshop with them. They sort of drew out what they wanted and that kind of stuff. And we made prototypes. I mean, we made prototypes on paper that we printed out and handed to people and made them go through it. This is the first prototype of the knocking feature that we have, where you could let people into a locked room. And these were very basic, very low cost. And it's important to remember that not all prototypes have to be implemented in code. You can get almost 90% of all the answers you need from just having a paper and having people click on paper and then changing a picture. And you don't have to spend like weeks implementing a feature. You can just do this 15 minutes in Photoshop, send it on a user, and then see what they like or not. And from this, we learned a lot of things. So this is the picture from the actual implementation that we had, the first implementation of it. And user observers will know that it has evolved since, but you see this is a lot different from the original paper prototype that we had. One thing to note is that features as well as projects are never done. You have to continue working on them. You have to continue testing them and improving them along the way. Because user expectations change. As the world around us changes, so will the expectations of the user and how they're familiar with it. But then we had another problem. Because we were kind of a bit cocky. We had a successful service. We had a new way of doing things. So we started innovating way too much. We tried to change everything at once. Of course, our tagline was, we have no login or sign up. But to get stickiness in the user, you have to have stuff like notifications, perhaps customizations, perhaps a conflict list, those kind of stuff. So we needed to build that, but we didn't want to have the words login or sign up anywhere. So instead, we decided to call it Access Profile, because that was much better. Yeah. And we broke every recognizable form of the login form. So this is our login form the way it looked originally. It doesn't look anything like a login form, right? So the users had no idea what to do with this. Not at all. And you can look at this picture as well and try to, where do you sign up in this picture? This is a screenshot from our actual service. Where do you sign up? It's really hard to know. It's actually the claim room button. That's the sign up button that we have. It's not obvious, right? And all of these sketches, they did well in user testing, but we didn't ask the right questions. We weren't critical enough. We were so cocky that we were going to get everything right. And that brings us to our next lesson. Keep innovations to a minimum. I like to think of innovations in a service to be innovation points, to spend innovation points doing something new. And once you've spent those points, those innovations something new, you have to stick with what users know. Because users, they need to feel familiar. They need to have something to compare this new experience with something that they have done before. Because too many new things is scary, it's unfamiliar, and leaves users feeling stupid for not getting it. So we said to them, yeah, just sign up on our page. And they went to our page and couldn't find the sign up button. The user is going to feel stupid. And that makes the user leave and not come back. So it ended up with us listening to that feedback. We changed our buttons to log in and sign up. And we went from having 2 to 3 support cases every day asking us, where do you sign in or log in? Sign up or log in. And once we changed that, for 8 months we haven't had a single case asking us how to do that. So these things really matter. So just for fun, this is a graph of the number of sign-ups that we've had in the time period. Can you guess where we changed the login and sign-up buttons? Big spike, right? Now we have much higher numbers of people actually getting this. But it brought us to another problem again. So up until now, we had interviewed all kinds of users. After all, we wanted to make a service for everyone. And that's kind of obvious, right? We want everyone to use our service. We want world dominance or that kind of stuff. But it doesn't work that way. Because people have different expectations. I'm going to show you these two. What do you think are the differences between these two users? So on our right, we have one of our ambassadors, teen ambassadors. She's 17 years old, and she goes to high school in Norway. She uses Appear.in every day to talk to friends in class and to talk to friends in her spare time. On our left is Svein. He is my boss. He is a 40-something manager at a company, and he uses Appear.in for meetings at work. Do you think these two users expect the same thing from the service? They don't, right? So how do you prioritize who to implement first of all? You have a limited set of resources, and you need to take a decision. Who of these users are most important? Who do you design our user experience for? And that brings us to lesson number 5. Get the target market. At some point, you need to choose who you cater to. Who has priority, which features do you develop, and for whom. We ended up choosing teams. On the screen, you see a screenshot of 3 of our team users in our conversation. These are ambassadors we've gotten permission to show their pictures. And we implemented stuff like stickers, bolder colors, a chat, that kind of stuff. And we didn't implement room bookings, email invites, or calendar updates. Things that are very important for business users. So why did we choose team users? And I think that's kind of interesting. Well, teams had viral spread, and they had a spread in our organic spread of our service that was much more powerful than what we've ever seen before. This is the usage graph of one city in Trondheim, and this is in Norway, called Trondheim. And this is the first city that we got really big, really fast. So it all started, as you can see, for 3 days, we had like our first bump. So we took over an entire school. Everyone at one school started using our service in a course of 3 days. And then, next Monday, over just a weekend, the usage was triple that. We had taken every single school, every single student, and we've asked so many people and teachers about this. They used our service day in and day out for hours at a time, just over a weekend. So they spread it to amongst their friends, and got people in. So we were actually very, very surprised. You might notice that we sort of died off there after 2 weeks. You sort of might be wondering why. So what happened is that we got blocked. We generated so much traffic because we are a full mesh peer-to-peer service, so everyone connects to everyone else and sends their video. But we actually crippled the internet backbone for the entire government of that city, the municipality. So they couldn't work. anymore because we send so much data between peers. So we killed routers. That was the first one to fall. But then we started killing the internet line out of school. And tried all the alternative methods of blocking us. So in the end, they just straight up blocked us and couldn't be used in a CDN. Teams also showed us a new usage pattern that we've never seen before. For them, video was important, but audio was muted. They used us in class, so they wanted to sit there and look at their friends while they were chatting, but audio was meaningless to them. They didn't want to chat or talk over video. They, well, you can't talk in front of the teacher, I guess, or that kind of stuff. We've never seen that before with any other users. So this is another example of that. You can see we have a mute icon on each of the videos. And in the chat, they are talking in Norwegian about math and they need help with a problem or something like that. And this is a regular occurrence for them. So they use the user service a lot. And the reason for doing that is that they want to feel close with their friends. They want to see the facial expression. They want to see how they look. They want to see how they react. But they don't want to talk. They want their parents to hear. They want the teachers to hear what they talk about, but even other students. So they just sit there and text while simultaneously being able to see their face and how they react. So, armed with the knowledge of the target market, we went out and we talked to them. One of the first things we did was establish what we call an ambassador program. So teams can volunteer to be part of what we call the ambassador program. And that means that they get swags or stickers and t-shirts and that kind of stuff. We invite them to pizza every once in a while, and they also are part of forming the product. So we do user interviews with them, we invite them to our design lab, we teach them about product development and that kind of stuff. And for them, this is a really good win, because they get to form the product that they love so much. This is an example of a design workshop with two teams. So we sit them down, and in this picture, they're designing the new mobile app experience. They're sitting down there and sort of doodling out how would the mobile app for WebRTC actually look, or video if they get to design it. Marketing is also a challenge towards teams, because you're not allowed to market in schools, so at least not in Norway. So you need to find a clever way to sort of reach them and be able to talk to them and tell them about the product. So we figured out that in the middle of the day, for about half an hour, all students get a big break. And they usually go to the nearest shop to buy food. So what we did was we set up a barbecue between the school and the shop so that they will pass the barbecue, smell the burgers, and then come by. And they will get a free burger if they install our app. And that worked great. Okay, back to lessons. It's important to remember that choosing a target does not mean that the product will only fit those people. In fact, a lot of our business users love our new features that were originally designed for teens, like stickers. This is one guy, he's a business user based in the United States, and he's commenting on our new Christmas stickers that we designed. Specifically for teens, but he loved it. We got that new from other companies as well. Because a target only helps you prioritize. It gives your product a direction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you will exclude other users because of that. It allows you to stop thinking about what will suit everyone. It allows you to sort of hone in your, the number of cases you think of. But okay, what has WebRTC got to do with any of this? And why am I standing on the stage here right now? Well, I believe that WebRTC is a game changer for product development and for data type services in general. Because WebRTC allows us to stop focusing on technology and instead use our available time and resources perfecting the product and making sure that our product was perfect for the users that we wanted it to be. And WebRTC allowed us to do that because it just works out of the box. It's very little tweaking or tuning that we need to do. I mean, 3 students can do this thing in 2 weeks and have something that's done and ready. I think that's extremely important. Because to me, WebRTC is not about a phone in the browser. It's not about SIP integration. It's not about DKMF ringtones. It's not about codecs or native app support or any of that. In fact, I'm not even sure WebRTC is about audio or video at all. Some of the really cool stuff and the new innovations that I see come from data channels instead of WebRTC audio or video. So to me, WebRTC is about being able to create new and innovative user experiences we could never have dreamed of before. And we are able to do that much, much easier than before as well. So WebRTC is what made Appear.in possible, but Appear.in is not about WebRTC. And I don't think any other product that you launch should be about WebRTC either. It's important to remember that the user doesn't care about technology. So if we're going to go out there and build a new product now and launch something, remember at least this. The user experience is everything. That's it for myself. So I have time for questions. Just have it.
ご質問のある方がいらっしゃいましたら、挙手をお願いいたします。
I have lots of swag and stickers and that kind of stuff. If you're interested, just come talk to me afterwards. And yeah. So thank you, and thank you to my awesome translators that helped me through this.
I have a question.
Oh, there's a question. Where is the question?
Yes.
All right.
It was very impressive presentation. Thank you. I have a question about strategy.
Yeah.
I think Appear.in is free service without add-on. So what is your business model and how will you monetize?
Yeah. We have the question, I think, every time I've talked. It's really interesting. So from the telco perspective first, we're part of this big telco. This big telco is trying to create new internet services. It's trying to go away from being a big fat pipe of just transmitting data and having phone conversation, actually building into the services. So part of it is getting experience with that. So they are not interested in us making money. They're interested in getting lots of users and having a successful product. And this is much the same way that Snapchat builds their product, their business model, right? It's free, there's still a value in billions of dollars. At the same time, we know that at some point we're going to have to make money. But I think that WebRTC has changed things a bit. Because seeing how 3 students can build a service like this, that can run for free for almost 3 years, very limited funding, they've changed the game. We can no longer charge for basic video conferencing facilities. That's common goods now. So what we're doing instead is we're looking at, first, for the free version, is microtransactions. So we have the stickers. We're probably going to sell stickers in packs at some point. We're not going to do that now. But those kind of features, those add-ons that you buy is what we're social planning. And then we're also launching the business product, which is targeted more towards small and medium businesses first. And we're going to do that around, hopefully, Q3. We're going to see a version of that. We're ready to talk more about that. And that will, of course, not be so please step up. Other questions?
その他にご質問のある方はいらっしゃいますでしょうか。
All right, then I'm going to say thank you, and thank you to my translators again.
タグ様